Hello guys, so finally winter is just around the corner. So I guess it's about time we talk about how we can at least adjust to this Canadian winter, especially if you are coming to Winnipeg, how you can prepare and adjust yourself to the Winnipeg winter. For most of us, it's a big adjustment to live in a climate that is so different from what we are used to, especially those of us coming from the tropic regions. In Winnipeg and Canada in general, there are 4 different seasons. That is the summer, the fall, the winter, and the spring, with varying temperatures that can vary from minus 35 degrees Celsius during the winter to as high as plus 35 degrees Celsius during the summer. Depending on the season, the number of sunlight hours can change drastically. Many international students, especially those coming from the tropical regions, that's the warmer ranges, always worried about how they can at least manage to cope with these particular temperatures. Even some students who have been in Canada for so many years still struggle to at least cope with the Winnipeg winter. And even other people who are in other provinces also still complain of being able to at least cope with the Canada winter, even though they are not even in Winnipeg. And since coming to Winnipeg, I've even heard some of my friends say that, Master, I'm not going to visit you in Winnipeg because I don't even want to attempt this cold. So people are actually trying to stay away from Winnipeg because of the cold. The good news is with proper winter attire, winter can be manageable and a lot of fun. At least that's what I've seen since I've been in Winnipeg. Most schools in Canada and even international students associations in most schools around Canada always try their maximum best to organize workshops for international students who come in to help them prepare on how to at least deal with the Canadian winter. So make sure you attend the one in your school as much as possible so that you can equip yourself with enough information to better prepare for the winter and not be surprised by it. In today's video, I will share with you some tips that I have picked up since I came to Canada, and at least since I have had a taste of the Winnipeg winter, that I think can help you manage the winter and at least get by comfortably without any issue, especially for those of you coming from the tropical regions. My first tip is stay warm, but at least get outside. I am saying this because what I've seen is most people come in and just the fear of getting cold scares them from even going outside to experience Canada for themselves. Even though they came in and they found out that in Canada there are basically 8 months of winter and just 4 months of sunshine. So my advice is stay warm, but at least find a way to get outside. And even some advice that we got from some of our facilitators is that getting outside sometimes help you to acclimatize quicker to the cold. And when you decide to go outside, there are a lot of activities that at least you can enjoy and experience for yourself if you are new to the Canadian culture. You can enjoy activities like skating, that's ice skating, tobogganing, skiing, snowshoeing, walking, curling, and even ice hockey. I am in Winnipeg, and at least I've had a chance to go and watch the Winnipeg Jets play. And guess what? It was fun. And at least since coming in, I've had the chance to even volunteer at the Apisibey Zoo, where we're basically helping people during the Apisibey Zoo Lights Festival. Getting out was cold, but guess what? It was fun, and it was an experience that I wouldn't trade for anything. So my advice is stay warm, but try your maximum best to at least get out. Even though you are new and this weather is new to you, my advice is make time to embrace it and enjoy it to the max. Tip number 2 is to wear layers. And as I'm sitting here, I'm sitting in a room which is heated, but guess what? I've even layered up. I'm having like almost 3 shirts on right now just to keep warm. And when you decide to layer up, it helps to have an outer layer that is at least rain and wind resistant. My advice is buy a pair of thermal wear or long underwear that you can wear underneath your dress or shirt just to help you stay warm, especially on the cold days that you have to go outside. And when you step outside, the ancient art of layering becomes your smart thermostat technology. This tried and true strategy lets you at least layer up to stay comfortable, and you can decide to sleep on and off your layers as and when the temperature changes so that you don't get too hot or too cold. So now let's look at how to layer up, because one thing I've realized is most people do it wrongly. and ends up suffering for that effect because they think they are layering up and all they are doing is just putting on dresses and shirts without the proper understanding of how to layer up, which doesn't end up keeping them warm. They step out and before you realize 5 minutes into just walking outside, they're already shivering. To understand layering for your outdoor activities, you need to know the function of every single layer that you are putting on. Your first layer will be your base layer, and your base layer basically is your underwear layer that is supposed to help you with moisture management. This particular layer wicks sweat off your skin. As the next to skin layer, the base layer's work is supposed to move perspiration away from your skin, aka that is wicking the sweat. In cool or colder conditions, the long underwear layer or the base layer's work is supposed to keep your skin dry. That's essential because it helps to keep you from becoming chill or, worst case scenario, hypothermic. When it comes to the base layer materials, you have a wide range of fabric options, including synthetics like nylon or even polyester, or natural fibers like merino, wool, and silk. Though there are subtle differences between the wicking and drying for each material, and in odor retention and durability, a lot of people go by their personal fabric preference. The second layer is the middle layer. That is the insulating layer. And this layer's work is supposed to help you retain body heat and prevent you from going cold. The insulating layer basically helps to retain the heat that your body is actually radiating. The more efficient this layer is able to trap heat, the warmer you stay, at least throughout the cold whilst you are outside. When it comes to the middle layer, just like the base layer, you have a wide range of fabric options to at least pick from, both synthetic and natural. In general, the belief here is the thicker or puffier it is, the warmer at least you'll be able to stay. Even though the efficiency of the insulating material is also very important. The third layer, that is the outer layer, and we can also call it sometimes the shell layer. And with this one, its work is supposed to shield you away from the wind and the rain, because with the cold comes sometimes rain and wind. So basically all the outer layer is doing is protecting you from the snow that's dropping, the rain that might be dropping on you, or even the wind that might be blowing at you. Because it will surprise you to know that as you walk outside, the cold that's coming will also come with a wind chill. Shells range from pricey mountaineering jackets to as low as simple wind resistant jackets. So you have a whole lot of options to pick from when it comes to picking a shell. It all depends on your pocket. So you can choose to go with the pricey mountaineering jackets that most people wear, especially when they are going for hiking, or you can pick a simple wind resistant jacket that will at least matches your pocket, that can help you at least be protected from snow, rain, or even wind. Most shells sometimes allow perspiration to at least escape, but virtually all of them are treated with water resistant material to make at least the water bead up and roll over when it falls on it. So the water doesn't stay on the material when it falls on it, to at least get you wet. Your outer shell is the most important piece in a stormy weather, because if wind and water are allowed to get into your inner layers, you can seriously get chilled. Even if you won't wear all three layers on the onset, my advice is to at least, when you make a decision to step out having all three layers ready, just in case the weather changes along the way. Because guess what? You can peel off layers if the weather gets warmer and you need to at least take some things off. But you can't put on layers that you don't have if the weather gets cold and you need to layer up further. Tip number 3 is to wear proper clothing. In this case, after layering up, you have to at least make sure that all exposed skin is at least covered. So wear things like a hat, mittens, or even insulated gloves, a scarf, insulated footwear, that's boots. You can also have a parka, that's a winter jacket, and a snow or wind-proof pants. This particular one is optional, and you find out that you can get some of these ones in stores when you land here, that you can at least wear on top of your clothing. And these ones are wind and snow proof. And also, as you try to protect your body, My advice is also to make sure that your hands and face are also protected, because sometimes you will cover every part of your body, but you still leave your face uncovered, and you have the wind hitting your face as you walk around, and before you realize, your face is already frozen up and you are all chilled up. So as you protect every part of your body, at least make sure you can have a scarf or something to cover part of your face, and if possible, you have access to maybe some goggles or glass, just put it on, just to keep your eyes clear as you walk around. My next tip is, whatever you do, make sure you stay dry. If you get sweaty, you will get colder. If you are planning to exercise or even go for a walk and you know you'll be sweating, my advice is always to go along with extra clothing so that you can quickly change out of your wet clothes when you are done. My next tip is always cover exposed skin. This helps to avoid getting frostbite or even frost nip on your skin and keeps you warmer. A scarf, a hat, and mittens are helpful for this purpose, and I learned it the hard way when I made a decision to at least walk out a couple of times without going with my gloves. I got back to my house only to find out that I can't even turn the key to my door because my hands are all frozen, and all I thought was I'm just going to step out for just 5 minutes and nothing could even happen. Or worst case scenario, I can just put my hands in my pocket. Your mittens, your gloves, your insulated gloves are all there for this reason. So if you decide to step out, it is always important to make sure that your hands, any exposed skin, is at least covered. This way you avoid getting a frostbite. And trust me, getting a frostbite is not something that you would like to enjoy. The next tip is make sure you stay out of the wind. Because of wind chill, it will feel colder if you are exposed to the wind. If you are waiting outside, try to get into a bar shelter, in between buildings, in lobbies of, let's say, a cafe, a restaurant, or any public space that might be available that has maybe warm space that at least you can hide in for some time. Or even you can get behind a building or a tree just to get out of the wind. Because if you stay in the wind for so long, trust me, no matter what you are wearing, the chance of you getting cold will be very high. And the next one is always drink something warm. What I've realized is most international student centers have free coffee, tea, or even hot chocolate that at least you can go in there and get some for yourself during this cold weather, just to help you stay warm. So in case you didn't bring one to school, make sure you go there with your flask or jug and at least get some for yourself, just to stay warm. And also, you can also bring your own insulated cups or mug with your own hot tea or coffee that you can drink throughout the day, just to help you stay warm as you go about your normal duties. And if that one runs out, like I said, you can go to the International Student Center and get extra for yourself. Because as long as you are drinking that hot tea or coffee, your body will at least be keeping warm, which will help you to at least adjust to the cold weather as you go about your normal duties. And when you land and it's time to buy at least your winter clothing, my advice is, as an international student, just keep an eye out. Because what I've realized is most NGOs end up giving free jackets and other clothing to international students for free to help them stay warm during this period. So if you're interested in getting one, you can just keep your eyes peeled. In case they announce that they are giving one out for free, you can head there and get one for yourself. Also, you can head to any shopping mall or most of these high-end departmental store and get one quality jacket for yourself, at least to keep you throughout the winter period. The quality and price of winter clothing can vary widely, but trust me, good quality items may cost you more, but they will also last longer and keep you warmer. So don't try to be chiseled when it comes to spending money on getting winter clothing for yourself, because your options might be to invest heavily in a very good one that can last you and keep you warmer for multiple seasons, or spend on low quality ones where it might not help and you have to spend and buy multiple. But if you're on a tight budget, then my advice is to at least to check out some of the second-hand clothing stores that you might find around your provinces, because Most of these stores might have very good jackets that people have at least worn it once or twice that you can buy at a discount or possibly giveaway prices. Some of these stores that at least you can head to are the Salvation Army thrift store. You can head to Value Village just to see what they have to offer. And when it comes to Value Village, my advice is look at the neighborhood that it's located. That will tell you the kind of goods that you'll find there, because most times the people who live around those areas who might donate to that particular Value Village. So if you are living in a neighborhood where you think you might not get quality, just head to one that is in a good neighborhood and check it out. Hopefully you might have quality goods at giveaway prices. And sometimes too, what you can also do is you can also head to Facebook Marketplace and see whether you can have people selling their old boots or jackets for cheap. The only risk here is you might not know the state that is in till you get there. And before I go, I think I used some words that somebody just tapped me on my shoulder that I might have to explain, because people might need further explanation on. When we say wind chill or wind chill factor, it's when the air temperature that is felt by your exposed skin feels colder than the actual air temperature because of the wind. For example, you may hear that it's minus 30 degrees, but it feels like minus 45 degrees. That means it feels colder because of the wind temperature. And when we say frostbite or frost nip, it's a medical condition where the skin or outer tissue is damaged because the skin has gotten frozen. And areas that are furthest away from your heart and exposed areas are mostly the ones that are at risk of getting frostbite or frost nip. That is your ears, your nose, your hands, and your feet. Those are the areas that normally gets frostbite or frost nip. And in most cases of worst case scenarios of frostbite or frost nip, they end up having to cast away that particular part of the skin. So these are some few tips that I think when you use them properly, they can at least help you to adjust to the cold weather in Canada, or even the cold weather in the coldest parts of Canada. That's Winnipeg, Saskatchewan, and those other regions, if those are the areas that you are coming to. And if you got value out of this video, kindly hit the like button and don't forget to hit the subscribe button. And please share this video with any friend or family member who has plans of at least coming to Canada anytime soon, so that they can join this community. And let me hear from you in the comment section. And I make sure to respond to all my comments that are left in the comment section. So do well to leave yours. And let me hear about your experience when you first got to Canada, how you felt about the winter. Thank you, and to the next video. Cheers.